Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Believe in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Mansell.
Cody, you have big news. Take it away.
So as of Monday morning, Iowa State Athletics, they have made the decision to discontinue the women's gymnastics program. This, to me, was not surprising given what had happened earlier in the year with the with the suspension of the season earlier in the year. Um, a message was from they announced this on Monday, or in the official statement here from the athletics website reads: the Iowa State University Athletics Department will discontinue its women's gymnastics program and replace it with another sport that provides equal or additional participation opportunities for women. The endowed Iowa State Director of Athletics Jamie Pollard today. They released an 8-minute video kind of describing, with Jamie Pollard kind of talking about how they got to this issue or how they got to this decision and whatnot. Basically went on saying the internal conflicts that have been going on within the gymnastics program between athletes, their families, and administrative staff have been going on like this entire year. Basically led them to make this decision to discontinue the program. And I mean, after that, Iowa State Twitter was kind of it was a firestorm. Like it was a firestorm after this announcement had been made. I first saw this from Ben Hutchins from the Quad City Times when he reported this happening. And basically, just yeah. So he's got from his article in the Quad City Times uh, reads like why the gymnastics season was canceled. Basically, says the decision to suspend the season resulted from a series of complex internal conflicts between individual teammates, coaching staff members, and parents. Um, and the big thing here for athletes that are currently on the team or who were expected to be recruited, that were going to be the incoming recruiting class, they'll have the option to remain at Iowa State to complete their degree, and their athletic scholarships will be honored. So current athletes who decide to stay at Iowa State will have all the benefits that they've had while they were here as a student athlete. So that won't change. They'll have continued access to all support services and benefits that were previously available to them as a member of the gymnastics team. And that also falls in line for the 2027 academic year, so the incoming recruits for that year. Uh, Also, the entire coaching staff for the gymnastics team has been notified that they will not be renewed, so they will not be returning to Iowa State. And for those who are not familiar with the women's gymnastics program, they had been around for 53 years. They have won 4 conference championships. Most recently, in 2006, they had also gone to 2 NCAA Super Six tournaments, and that's the farthest that they gone. So, kind of think of that as like the Elite Eight or the Final Four for
Mm-hmm.
women's gymnastics. Actually, I think that would be your championship or whatever. I don't recall that, but and then Iowa State, they're going to basically take the next several months to research and come up with like plans for how they can replace those gymnastic scholarships with other scholarships. And I mean, the two sports that most people are throwing around are women's wrestling and women's hockey. So Tyler, just from your context, if you were say put yourself into an or what sport would you rather have if you were in this position? Would you rather have women's wrestling or women's hockey?
To me, I'd rather have women's hockey, but if as an athletic director, you're always going to try to find something that will probably be similar cost wise. So in that sense, wrestling probably would be the go to that I would do as an athletic director, mainly
Mm-hmm.
because of the popularity of women's wrestling, the fact that we're in the state of that we're in the state of Iowa where wrestling is king,
Yep.
and the fact that the wrestling team is already going to be getting a facility built in the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be able to split time with the men's wrestling team. I think that that's a slam dunk right there. So I'd say with
Mm-hmm.
women's wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. I would personally like women's wrestling, but I mean, back to like this whole gymnastics drama. We've had numerous messages come out, and this is from like former coaches. Haley Young, who was a former assistant head coach at Iowa State, basically posted in her story. and if you're watching the stream, you can see her story on Instagram. But for those who aren't, I'm going to read out what she says here in her Instagram story. Heartbroken. This video is BS. Everyone knows what that stands for. Unreconcilable differences. Give me a break. Hold your leadership accountable. Hold yourself accountable. This statement is a joke. Unbelievable. And a message saying that she loves cycling gymnastics forever. Here's also there was also another message from a former assistant, Samantha Snyder, basically said, "Heart is broken. Forever love these girls and every memory that has been made and tear that has been put into this year. Terrible that this is the result of the lack of support from Iowa State Athletic Administration. For the last 5 months, we have come forward as a team regarding certain situations and environment concerns, and nothing has been done to protect us as athletes on this team. The gymnast should not be blamed or being sharing any part of responsibility for the decision being made. Bigger and better things ahead for every girl in this program." And another former assistant coach, Ryan Snyder, also on Instagram, said, "Sad day for the sport. Shame on that entire Iowa State athletic department. All you had to do was take accountability for hiring the wrong person. How many athletes, coaches, and parents went to administration and told you about Ashley? Ashley was the then current head coach of the gymnastics team. You have issues in every sports. It's college athletics. You're dealing with young humans in the most influential part of their lives. The issue recently with gymnastics, you hired a used car salesman to lead a store D1 program. And what other sport or professional does hiring someone with zero experience make sense?" So clearly, there's
Mm.
just been a lot of tea and drama that has been going on with this bar. And I even recently saw a message from a former gymnast who I actually shared I was in great relationship with Hannah Loyam,
Mm-hmm.
recently alum of the gymnastics program. Her message, she put this on Twitter, her Twitter. Jim, and this is a letter. Says reads, "Jamie Pollard and members of the athletic department. I never personally saw you in Bayer Hall or at Hilton Coliseum supporting our gymnastics team during my time as a student athlete. You felt like a stranger to us. When my teammates and I were in serious need of transparency, support, and leadership, we made the difficult decision to approach you and your staff directly. We were met with silence, dismissal, and ultimately the consequences of decisions that deeply affected us. The generic emails and lack of honesty, both during and after my collegiate career, have spoken volumes. Leadership requires presence, accountability, and a willingness to listen. That is not what we experience. I am genuinely concerned for the future women's sport that may replace ours. Those athletes deserve protection, transparency, and advocacy. Title IX compliance should be the baseline, not the ceiling. Student athletes deserve leaders who see them more as more than numbers on a balance sheet. Accountability matters. The truth matters. Do better." So that is what her
Mm.
message is. And I mean, there's just, and it's just not that, but I mean, a lot of drama is being thrown out, and people are like trying to make their own conspiracy theories on why this got discontinued. And also, for context, that was mentioned in the Jamie Pollard video, this has been this issue with gymnastics has been going on since 2018. Because
Oh
there were two
boy.
separate investigations in 2018 and 2023 related to Title IX violations, things like that. I remember 2018 was related to some of the gymnasts encountering a former coach of a known gymnastics gym here in the state of Iowa, specifically in West Des Moines, that was part of a broader investigation into a former coach who was alleged having charges of abuse against the
Mm.
athletes.
Wow.
So that was the 2018 report, excuse me. And then I think in 2023, there were more Title IX violations. It had to do with facilities and things like that. And also the hiring process of the new coach, Ashley Miles Grieg. So you had that being thrown. And then what's one thing that has been thrown on the Iowa State Twitter base is the allegations that the team, like all the athletes, have been going out partying, underage drinking, getting in trouble with the law. And me personally, and I'll say this, I find that absolutely BS. Because if that was true, that would have been I would have known about it way before this happens. And also, you can't cut an entire program just from that alone. This had to have been built up from years upon years
Mm-hmm.
of negligence, and that's what I personally
Right.
view it for. And also back to kind of the sources. Yeah, the person who had been thrown we know exactly who we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter. Like people are throwing that around saying, "Oh, it's all the fault of the athletes." Okay, can the athletes take some blame? Whatever, possibly.
Right.
But this does ultimately fall on leadership failing to put people in the right spots. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Snyder did bring up a good point. This Ashley Miles Greek. This was her first gig as a head coach in women's gymnastics. So there were kind of skepticisms about that, and there were more issues. I mean, we have to go about the facilities. Like literally, for one of my student clubs, we are right next to the gymnastics facility, and I can tell you right now that thing like does not look the most modern, and I feel like there are quite a few safety concerns. I've taken a tour, like I've seen it. I haven't
Yeah.
personally like been inside of it, but from the outside looking in, yeah, you have all this stuff, but also there are concerns clearly made by athletes, and it seems like that was ignored. And I mean, I'm still also waiting to hear from another. I know like another alum of the gymnastics program. She had sent an email to the head coach, and like we're waiting on that. So I'm waiting to hear back from her and like my close friend
Mm.
who like we know her as well. So like I've known about this, and I mean I even asked Hannah Loy. I'm like, and she was asking me like she wants like, uh, and I mean people want Jamie Pollard gone from this. There
Man,
are people
yeah,
out, yeah,
this is a whole saga. I remember the whole movement after after Matt Campbell left, that whole entire saga, and now people sort of are like sort of skeptical, especially with you've seen you've seen the whole stuff. I think it was on CBS News saying that
yeah,
that apparently Ohio State wants TJ Otzelberger and
yep,
all that. And so it's just a whole whirlwind of stuff. Plus, we have Sidetown opening next year. So
mm-hmm.
who knows if this is going to be like a swan song or who knows? It's going to be something to definitely pay attention to in the next year or two. But thank that elite reporting by you on this.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, and also real quick, I just saw this too. So former Iowa State head coach and current Oklahoma head coach, if I'm correct, KJ Kindler had been warning about facility issues within the
Mm-hmm.
Iowa practice facility for 20 years. This has been a thing. Like she
Wow.
had been worrying about this for 20 years because she is a former gymnast of that program, and she had also been a former coach from 2001 to 2006. So she has known about this, and she spoke out too. I don't have the exact tweet, like her exact statements, but she called out the leadership as well and the failure to be attentive about this. So I mean, I saw people like throwing out like some like people were saying uh, Iowa State gymnasts could potentially sue Iowa State for Title IX violations, and I wouldn't be surprised if that
Mm,
happens. So this is just an
man.
ongoing thing that like and like put that aside. I feel for these students. Like I feel for all like any
Mm-hmm.
student athlete. Like imagine going to your like one day and learning that like your program gets cut
Right. Yeah, that's
and
messed up.
yeah, and obviously me having like these relationships with like some of these gymnasts because I've got to know them pretty well and I've got like a good friend like I'm decently connected with them. So they've been telling me like obviously Hannah has been telling me about like her view of this. And I'm still waiting to hear from a few others, and obviously the all the alum have come out in support of the athletes. So this in entirety, and I mean like what this could be worrying this could be potential worrying about any women's sports because now somebody had
Yeah.
thrown out like something that happened with like the volleyball program. Like I have no clue about that. Somebody had just thrown it out randomly, and I'm like, what? I would have to look more into that. But just this
Yeah.
whole like situation, and I mean, just I gotta like these athletes. Like at the end of the day, yeah, they're not like these athletes deserve so much better, and it's a shame that like failed leadership has like well at least from what I've seen has led to this point, like years of negligence.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when you let Legends run amok, this is what you get. Unfortunately, so
Yeah,
I'm hoping the best for
yeah,
as athletes in their futures.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, one thing I do hope for they number one get this year back, and number two they all find a home. And if they do decide to stay at Iowa State, I'm like whether they stay at Iowa State or go, I'm like if they're like uh, I'll be like their decision. Like they got to do what's best for them. And I know I think some of the Iowa State athletes, some of the Iowa State gymnasts have already entered the portal. I wasn't surprised about that. I know some are probably going to stay to complete their degree. But overall, this is just a shitty situation.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. All right, Cody. Thank you for that reporting on that. We definitely will be have more info on you that for within the coming weeks.
Yeah.
We're definitely we will be on the prowl on this one.
Hmm.
With you with the Believe in USA podcast. All right. Uh, so we are here mainly because y'all know why you're here. Uh, we are talking about recapping the 73 to 57 loss uh, for the I would say Cyclones in Tucson against the Arizona Wildcats. Arizona, they celebrated the Big 12 regular season championship on the court. Man, this game cannot be any uglier for the Cyclones.
Yeah, I think like enough time has passed. I think I mean what else is there to say other than the ball's got to go into the ball's got to go into the basket.
Yeah, you're right.
And and obviously like the big thing for this is like I mean this is like and also this is like more of like if we look at this just from this game specifically, you got what you wanted. Like you were able to get on the glass and get those offensive boards, but you failed to convert those, and then you just could not buy a bucket at all from the floor. Like Joshua Jefferson had his worst game. This was his worst game of the year, no doubt.
Oh yeah, he was.
Like
Man.
2 of 17 from the floor, 0 of 5 from the perimeter, and just some puzzling decisions, to put it one way. Um, there was just sequences where like he should be going up to get a strong like to go for a layup, but instead like I remember this and we were watching this like we were doing a watch and boy oh boy I let my peer like my raw emotion like I was feeling it in this game because there was a sequence where Joshua Jefferson had like the basketball. He was on the left like in the left corner. He drives to the basket and then calls for all of a sudden he just passes the ball and it leads right to a turnover and Arizona gets an easy like was it a three or whatever? It was at least a 5 point swing. It
Yeah,
was just
that was
that was
insane.
just the play that summarized this game entirely. It's like you had a chance to like win this game and you just chucked it away.
Yeah, I mean, and this is also a game once again, Cody, where dude, you want to know what our free throw percentage was? Dude, we shot
90%.
92. We shot 92% from the free
Listen, you
line.
you know what? You know what? Listen, I know it's cost us a couple games, but the free throw shooting, like listen, if there's one positive that I have, this I mean, at least we're starting to round up, and we had been asking for them to be making the free throws, and they are doing that. Like,
I mean, yeah. I look. There's no. It's just funny that now that we've fixed our free throws, now we're not.
we
Now
can't buy a
we
bucket.
can't buy a bucket now. Like, what is going on? Why can we never fix anything at once?
we can never, we can never have everything go right at the same time.
I
That's the running
swear,
joke.
dude.
But I mean, if you do look at it from that, I mean, it is good that we are making our free throws because like free throws are what like gets you wins in important in pressure situations in March is making your free throws. That's one of them.
Yeah.
And then guards win in March. Boy, oh boy, the guards have struggled.
Ooh.
This, ooh, Killian Torrey, an absolute zero on offense, basically. Nate Heisey, a zero on offense. Jamari Bateman actually had a nice game. I mean, he was chucking it up, but I like that. I mean, he went 4 of 10 from three, so I do like that. I like Jamari Bateman to be a steady presence. Tame Listy did make a couple threes. One of his better games of the year.
Yeah.
But I mean, the
17 and
guards as
six.
a whole, yeah, that like I think for sure. And then we did get some Dominic Nelson run. So, and I mean, we had always been like, why change anything now? But I think maybe there is a way to implement Dom Nelson into this like into the rotation. Get him like 5 to 10 minutes. Get like quick like 7 or 8 points. That could honestly help. And why not mess around with it on Senior Day? And we'll get to Senior Day later. Um, yeah, the emergence of like this steadiness from Jamarian Bateman, I do like. Um, we can get that from him, and then Lipsy plays one of his better games. But we gotta like under like something needs to be said like about like offensive like game plan. The something needs to change because we cannot keep
Yeah.
bashing our heads on a wall like this, where
Yeah,
like Killian Torrey is being treated like freshman year Lipsy. They're not guarding him; they're daring him to shoot.
yeah. I don't understand. Like he's not gonna do anything for you offensively. I understand. Like you're trying to like fix his confidence, but you got to put Bateman in there.
Yeah, I
Like
think Bateman
Bateman gives you a spark.
I don't think you swap out Bateman for like the start. I think you still have Torrey to start, but you do give Demarin Bateman more run. I because
Yeah,
I do like that, but I mean Heisey definitely like in Lipsy too. Both of them probably need to step it
yeah.
up more, considering like
No, for
this is
sure.
their last year. You're not gonna get anything more after this.
Yeah, and that is a good thing,
Yeah.
at least for Torre to build on into going into this offseason, going coming into next year.
Hmm.
But
And then
man, let's look at this, and because just the other upsetting thing, this is also a game where you force Arizona to turn the ball over 15 times,
yeah,
and
15
and and
turnovers, but
and
you
and
weren't really able to.
rebounding wise, you hung in there with them. I mean,
Yeah,
you had 15 rebounds combined from Blake Buchanan and Joshua Jefferson
I mean,
offensively,
uh,
and then 6 rebounds from them. So that's
yeah,
already, I mean, 6 rebounds from Lipsy. So you hung in there with them on the boards like we were supposed to, but
yeah,
unfortunately the ball didn't go in the basket.
yeah. So I mean, this game wasn't for a lack of effort. I know, like
Oh
if
yeah,
if you truly think this game was a lack of effort, you're crazy.
yeah,
You need to just go outside, touch some grass, and realize that this was one of the like this was just your absolute low offensively when you just couldn't buy a bucket. And I mean, we also have to talk about Milan Momcilovic. Like he got only 5 points. He wasn't doing anything. And this is something too that I think some people were talking about. It's like this goes to like kind of how Milan is like guarded. They basically are like glue. Like they are glued to Milan Momcilovic because they know that outside of Milan, nobody else has really been an offensive threat. So they're just going to sag off everybody and basically triple team Milan and basically glue to him. But also, he's basically getting held like it was a defensive holding in football every single time Iowa
like
State's on offense. And I think this too needs to like TJ Otterberger. This goes into coaching. He needs to let the officials know that Milan is literally getting held like it's football all game and make the officials call it.
yes, because you finally saw him lose his mind for like the first time this year. And I also think just like offensive stuff, you gotta switch it up offensively because
Yeah.
this is the type of stuff that gets you beat. Especially you might be able to survive it the first 2 rounds, but like man, once you get to the Sweet 16 against elite teams, against like a really good 3 seed or 2 seed that we face, whatever region we're in, they're gonna see that and they're gonna be like, oh, you know what, just guard Milan, stick to him like glue, and then we'll see. And
Well,
this is just another thing that I'm worried about is really just how we play. Are we going to get the type of refs that are going to allow that type of play? That's another thing I'm worried about going into the tourney.
mhm, for sure. But I mean, I think at this point everything's already been said about this game. There's probably nothing else we really could say about it because
Nah,
it's been a couple days. I think
yeah,
everybody's behind it, and uh, we could probably flush this one down the toilet. The double bye is like not like Iowa State is certainly a lock for the 5 seed in Kansas City, and probably a lock for the 3 seed in the NCAA tournament.
yeah.
So
Let's take a look at. I'm gonna go to the Big 12. No,
yep, um, yeah. So I mean, as of right now, the top 4 seeds would be Arizona, Houston, Texas Tech, and Kansas. I believe it will be in that order.
yep. Right. Yeah, so here it is. Right
Mhm. And I mean,
now.
I know there is still 8. Like Iowa State mathematically can still get the 4 seed and get that double bye, but it's going to require mainly Kansas State to go in at Fog Allen and beat Kansas. And no one in their right mind will say
Yeah.
that that's going to happen.
Look. I will say this: after the craziness of last night, anything can happen. I don't even. That's what I'll say. I'm not saying that it will happen, All
Yep.
I'm saying is that um, yeah, here it is right here. Um, obviously, this is in written format, not an actual. But here's game one: 12 versus 13, 9 versus 16, and then on Tuesday we have 10 versus 15, 11 versus 14.
Yep.
Game five, which would be at 11:30, which is the Iowa State versus whoever won game one,
Yep.
and
I've got
then
yeah. So I've got like on the
right.
screen. So
Oh,
presenting. This is
right.
from this is MRed's a Big 12 like seat random seat generator. I always love playing around with this. Like in this situation, it's nice. But yeah. So basically, all the games are lined up. Yeah, and Iowa State. Well, this is if Kansas State beats Kansas, Iowa State would get the 4 seed. But if we're like, so we're assuming that we're gonna reset this and go back and just like say Kansas beats Kansas State, Iowa State would play on Wednesday at 11:30. So we'd
Mm-hmm.
be the first game up. And basically the matchup would be we would get presumably the winner of Arizona State Baylor. And I mean, before we talk about Arizona State and Senior Day, well, actually, well, speaking of them, they were part of a wild Big 12 Tuesday.
Yeah, let's go into it and talk about the a look back at a look across the chaotic Big 12
Yep.
because the chaotic Big 12 finally lived up to his name because Cody, man, it was we thought it was just gonna be a just a typical Wednesday night in the Big 12, but boy oh boy, it was not that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of action that went down in terms of like Big 12 seeding, bubble teams, whatnot. So, I mean, we might as well just start off right at the top. Texas Tech drops a game at home to TCU 73 to 65. And TCU basically is like making sure that they can be in the NCAA tournament. So this is a huge win for them to separate themselves a little bit in the bubble. So I mean, Texas Tech. I mean, with huge wins over. I mean, yeah, Iowa State. I'm trying to think who else. Like they have like some
I
like
would
key
say
wins.
they had beat
Duke.
Duke, they beat Houston.
Yep, beat Houston. They did win against BYU and beat Arizona in Tucson. So, and I mean TCU, they're kind of like the wild card team of this conference because you don't know what version of them you're gonna get.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean I saw the Ryan Hammer tweet on talking about TCU. They're like one of the most confusing teams in this
Mm-hmm.
tournament because of like the wins they have, but also the losses they have. So TCU, very confusing team, but they did get this huge win for them and their NCAA tournament resume. And yeah, uh, and I mean, we're just getting started with the chaos. Oklahoma State takes UCF to overtime and wins that game 111 to 104.
Yeah, I believe that is Oklahoma State's highest point output of the season,
Yeah,
especially when you consider that we went down there and won by like almost 40 points. That is it was absolutely bananas. I'm like, wait a minute, UCF went to overtime with who?
yeah.
And like,
I,
wow, man,
I'm concerned.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I'm concerned for UCF's tournament hopes because after this loss, because they're one of those bubble teams that we had thought like they would be like one of those teams that could sneak in as like an 8 or 9 seed. Now that might be a little bit of concern after dropping this game to Oklahoma State. Uh, Kansas State beats West Virginia and basically pops West Virginia's bubble chances of going to the NCAA as a bubble team.
Yeah, K State is just a team of chaos where they're just going to be playing free because they have nothing to play for. So they're going to be like, well, we're going to ruin your season.
Might as well, I guess.
Yeah.
That game, Kansas State won 65 to 63 in the octagon of gloom.
Yes, the Octagon of Gloom.
Yep. In a nothing burger for both teams, Colorado beats Utah 92 to 78. Bank on that with a double double, 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks. I just don't care about this game. There was really not much.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, BYU's odd year continues. They lose at Cincinnati 90-68.
Oh man, that is bad. That is bad.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We, as Iowa State people, I know we lost to Cincinnati, but we at least tried to make it somewhat of a game late. This was just Cincinnati taking BYU uh, to the woodshed. This game was never close.
I mean, they've just gone on an absolute just free fall ever since they beat Iowa State at home. We thought it was gonna build into something. Now it's just a straight nosedive, and maybe it's safe to say that maybe that was a dead cat bounce where they beat Iowa State, and after that,
Yep.
it just seems like we're the kiss of death for every team, dude. Every time everybody beats Iowa State, they lose.
They lose some weird ass game.
We're the kiss of death.
Somehow, some way. I mean, let's. What we the most recent example, we just lost to Texas Tech, and what they do right after, they drop a game at home to TCU. Let's see, beat BYU. Well, after BYU beats us, they've dropped three straight to UCF, at West Virginia, and at Cincinnati.
Mm,
And then what was that? The next loss would have been what? I'm trying to think. TCU. Well,
TCU.
TCU was just, we didn't know what to expect. That was one of the worst games I had ever had seen out of this year. TCU is a wild card, so I don't know how I could really chalk up that.
Yeah.
Well, Cincinnati. I mean, now that they've turned their season around, but I mean, after beating us, they kind of went on that slide, and then you had the whole Wes Miller apology video in the tunnel, and they've turned around since. And then Kansas, well, they did Kansas things.
Yeah, they did Kansas things. Yeah,
uh,
I can't explain this, but they lost 70-60 to Arizona State
oh,
on the road.
Bobby Hurley and company. That's not even the main story. That's not even the main story. This is the second time that Arizona State has beaten a top 15 team in Big 12 play alone and has stormed the court. But that's not even the main story of this. So our good friend Doug Sermons, I believe, he was one of the officials in that game. So he had just officiated our game the day before, and the main story of that was Bill Self getting ejected in the first half.
Wow.
But I mean, this video, like, this is even funnier. Like, I mean, this is just Bill. So for those not watching, this is on Curtis Rogers on Twitter. So Bill Self just gets ejected after a call on Darren Peterson. But watch what they do.
Pop the smoke. He's gone.
Okay, but here's the thing. That wasn't the only time a coach had but also one of the assistants had gotten a technical foul in this game as well for Kansas. Jack Vaughn got a technical in the second half.
Oh man.
I mean, at one point, Arizona State was leading this game by 20.
Yeah, they've led 40-20 at halftime.
Yep. Kansas makes a storm. Like, they storm back. I believe they cut the lead to 3 at one point. But, I mean, Arizona State was able to hold them off. And, I mean, this might as well. This can go on. And honestly, Kansas. What do you even think of Kansas after this?
Man, I guess you got to look at them for what they've been.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody looks at Kansas for what they could be, but you have to look for this year. You have to look at Kansas for what they have been, which is they've been a good but not great team.
Yeah.
Obviously, that 8-game winning streak seems like it was sort of a mirage.
Yeah.
Because they are not playing like that team that won 7 or 8 in a row. Right before they played Iowa State. So, like,
right.
I mean, as a KU fan, I know a lot of them are probably like down in the dumps because just like
they were sounding like what we were sounding like during the Arizona game.
Yeah. Oh no, it's bad. It is bad.
Yeah, things are horrendous there. I mean, one guy and this might as well honestly. I mean, there is one more game that happened before Saturday. Houston Baylor, that's going on tonight, and I really don't think I need to take too much stock in it. Houston should just beat the piss out of Baylor.
Houston's gonna kill them.
Yeah, but back to Arizona State. I mean, they're the next team up for us, so we might as well take a look at them. One guy that I mean we have to look out for, Mo Odom, uh, in this game in this game against Kansas, 23 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. He went 8 of 10 from the free throw line, 5 of 10 from the perimeter. So that's a guy Iowa State has to look out for as a potential problem. Masamba Chop, 19 points and 9 rebounds. So he'll be in the paint, kind of controlling it. I mean, at one point he held Floyd Badunga to only 2 points.
Wow. So he's
Yeah.
gonna be a problem inside.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, he held, and he also held Bryson Tiller. Bryson Tiller was held to only 3 points in this game.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, back to this, you know how bad we shot from three against
Yes.
Arizona. Kansas shot about the same from three.
Jeez.
Yeah, they shot 29% from the field as a whole, 27% or 26% from three. So they shot about as well as we did against Arizona.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I mean, Bobby Hurley, I don't know if this saves his job. I wouldn't expect it to. Maybe, maybe not. But I mean, senior day, I mean, if you're Iowa State, you just need to absolutely like just run over Arizona State. Give some confidence back to the fan base and show that you can still be the team that you were when you started the year 15-0 or 16-0, whatever it was. Show them that you can be that team. Show them you can be the same team that beat team average to below average teams by 30 in February, early February.
Right.
So for Iowa State, I think this senior day, it's more about Iowa State and what they can do to really uh reaffirm the fans that things will be fine and they are still a really good team. So I mean, there's probably not. I don't know what else to really say. There's probably not too
There's
much.
not really much else to say about this matchup. We got to
Yeah,
go out there and not give them any hope at all.
yeah,
Obviously, one of the stats that stands out to me is they average 4.7, almost 5 blocks a game, which is insane.
yeah.
But we average almost 9 steals a game. So
So
I think this is going to be a game where you see either Killian Torre get a few steals or Taman get a lot of steals to the
yeah,
ball, get a lot of points in transition. I think Milan will go back to his old self,
yeah,
and I think that Iowa State will cruise to
yeah.
victory on senior day.
I think this is a game where you gotta get back to what got you up to like this point, like what has
Right.
succeeded for you. And obviously, and who knows, maybe you can tinker around with the lineup a little bit. You might as well give
Yes.
Jermaine Bateman run, maybe give him 30 minutes. Give Dom Nelson 8 to 10 minutes in this game. See what he can do to open up some lanes and whatnot, because maybe that's something that you're missing. And listen, we've had like a criticism of Dom Nelson why he hasn't played in like, but I mean, he could still bring something, and we just hopefully can see it. Like even in the short spurt that he had against Arizona, granted it was a garbage time, but still, you saw just what he can do for you. So why not try it? I mean, it's
Yes.
senior day. He's a senior. Eric Muller's a senior. Nate Heise's a senior. Joshua Jefferson is a senior. And most importantly, Taman Lipsey. This is going to be his last game at Hilton in an Iowa State uniform.
With that, we just said let's take just a look back at the senior class. I think this is really just good, at least with this part of the show, to really recognize them. Like it honestly seems like just yesterday because you remember that Taman Lipsey was, I believe, one of the first recruits to get in the 2022 recruiting class because remember everyone was worried because remember that was like the beginning of NIL way back when we had Tyrese Hunter and that was actually the first year of the TJ Otzelberger era, which seems so long ago,
Mm-hmm.
um, 4 years ago, which is nuts.
Yeah.
But like you remember back to that where TJ had to give Taman Lipsey a phone call, and because who knows, everybody in the Midwest wanted him, and he was able to secure to secure um, to secure Taman Lipsey in that 2022 recruiting class, and Taman is one of the building blocks to where Iowa State is today. Like Iowa State is here mainly because of him, Mister Ames.
Hmm. I mean, he's like one of the like last of the dying breed, which is those like guys that stay at one school their entire year of this era. I mean, he's been here all 4 years. He's been through like the highs we had, the lows we've had. He's been a constant for Iowa State and the things he's done for this universe, like for the team. I mean, even this year alone, I mean, probably the signature play for him this year would be the Houston offensive board to win us that game, and he's had his moments. So I mean, a lot is going to be missed when Taman Lips like after this game for Taman Lipsy. Like
Yeah,
it's just going to be a weird feeling around Iowa State because it's like she had this guy for all 4 years, but now you're on a new era, so it's like wow, it's actually he's no longer wearing an Iowa State uniform.
yeah. And then the second guy we're gonna bring up is Joshua Jefferson. Joshua Jefferson, senior. This is his second year at Iowa State. Um, Came in from the transfer portal last year and was an instant impact and has
Hmm.
been a great player and been
Yeah.
a great addition for the Iowa State Cyclones. As much as like people love to rag on and do, he's one of also the reasons why we're here and the reason why we had a good season last year.
Yeah.
Just a solid player, um, and at his best, it can be one of the top players in the nation.
Hmm. I mean, in his like at his absolute best, he is like deserving to be in the talks of the Naismith Player of the Year with like the likes of Cameron Boozer, AJ
Mm-hmm.
DePinsta, and all those guys. Like when he's at his absolute best. So I mean, that's one thing I hope for is like Jefferson like is able to just turn it like to turn that like mode on and like to kind of like do that because like when he plays at his absolute best, Iowa State's at his absolute best.
Definitely.
Yep. And then I mean third, uh, Mr. Nate Heisey, 4 year guy out of Northern Iowa, so very just kind of around the area. We bring him in the same transfer portal class as we did Joshua Jefferson, so kind of one of those guys that's like I mean they don't call him the glue guy for no reason. Like they don't call him the glue guy for no reason. Like he does the dirty work, and I mean the running joke we've had like the last 2 years is some for some reason Nate Heisey likes to turn it on during Black History Month.
Yeah, this is yeah. February is usually when he turns it on. So,
Hmm.
really excited to see what he can do in the Big 12 tournament and upcoming in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, hopefully Nate Heisey like can just go out and like light it up. And I mean, like this is has to like if he does like some turn it on and he can like get Iowa State to a Final Four and maybe just maybe this is a long shot win a national title. The Thanksgiving dinner with him and his older sister Taylor Heisey, they're gonna have some interesting conversations.
I want a gold medal. Well, I want a national championship.
Yeah, that's basically the Heisey family chat right now. And imagine just from the pure like look of it. Imagine like Iowa State, like you have a national champion winner Nate Heisey, and then you can also flex that like his older sister is basically an honorary Cyclone at this point.
Basically, yeah, she is.
So yeah,
Because
and I mean
she probably will be at the game tomorrow.
yeah that on Saturday. So
Or I mean Saturday. Sorry.
you must already be
I don't
thinking it's
know
Friday.
why.
Good lord.
Yeah, damn. It's only
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah. And then I mean also the two other seniors we have, Eric Mulder and Dom Nelson. Eric Mulder, Oski kid, didn't really get like those two. Like Dom Nelson, like definitely had his moments like against Purdue in
Mhm.
Vegas, so he had those moments for sure. And I mean, he basically was a part of like why we were able to kind of open a gap against Purdue and just pour it on him was like his points off the bench.
As much as I said that we need to let the whole Dom Nelson thing die, he may end up being a bigger playing a bigger
Yeah,
role
it may play a difference
than
as to
what we
why.
thought. So I am proud to be wrong about that. So
Yeah, I was familiar with the game.
maybe he will be a bigger piece than what I thought.
And and then for Eric Mulder, we say this right now. Eric Mulder is a better shooter from three than Mila Momcilovic. Just stop the count right now. Just give him all the awards.
Stop the count. 100% free throw shooter,
That shot
or
against
one
like
hundred
against
percent
Kansas State, I
field
was
goal
like,
shooter.
that
Insane.
was pure. no backboard, no bouncing off the rim. That thing was pure net.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just wanted to say, from the Believe in Our Sick crew, we're gonna miss these seniors, and we thank you guys for deciding to be Cyclones and bringing your guys' talents to Ames.
Hmm.
All right, Cody. We are going to take a look now at some bracketology because I believe some things have changed within the last few weeks, or
Hmm.
within the last week.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been just trying to keep up with like different bracketologists. So I currently the I think the consensus around Iowa State, like around our fan base, is like we are like kind of like are in the 3 seed line. We can still fight for a two. That requires some work, but I think it's safe to say we are comfortably a 3 seed.
Yeah, which is fine, because now luckily we didn't drop down to a 4 seed, so we'll have to play a 1 seed to get in the Sweet 16. So we'll still have a matchup between the 2 seed. It really
Mhm.
just matters of can we look at like a bracket and see possibly who we could face.
Uh, yeah. So I'm looking at 8-1 bracketologies,
Sure, sure.
kind of projections. So this would have likely been after. So this is March 3rd. So this is right after Big Monday. So this was before all the Big 12 chaos. So Iowa State is currently projected according to T3 or 8-1 bracketology, excuse me, as a 3 seed in the East region. First round, second round matches will be in St. Louis, and we would go up against Troy in the first round, and then face the winner of Kentucky. We would face either Kentucky, Ohio State, or New Mexico.
Hmm.
And then the Sweet 16 matchup for us.
Would be Michigan State.
Hmm. Well, Michigan State. Nice to see you here again.
So basically, Destiny awaits us because that would have been the Sweet 16 matchup last year in
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and justice for Larry Eustace.
yeah, Justice for Larry Stacey. Yeah, that would be interesting being
Yeah.
in being in DC, and then
Yeah.
a possible Sweet Six or a possible Elite Eight matchup with the winner of Duke and Alabama would be
Ooh.
juicy.
I feel like Arkansas could beat Alabama. I think Arkansas would get the win over Bama. I feel like
I
it'd
can
be.
see that. Yeah, yeah. Arkansas against Coach Cal. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
A very athletic matchup between, but probably it'll probably end up being Duke. Has
Yeah.
been absolutely amazing for the entire
Oh
year, and they're
God.
probably going to win a natty.
You know
But
what
we
be
have
the
to go through
what would
Duke.
be the most toxic timeline is if somehow Iowa and Iowa State matched up in DC.
Oh no, in the Sweet 16. Oh no, no, because we do not need that because you want to know
Oh
what's gonna
God.
happen,
Oh
dude.
God.
Iowa fan, no, we cannot have this timeline because Iowa fans are gonna be annoying. But oh, we beat Duke. Yeah, we do not need that timeline, bro.
Oh God, I forget that would be the case, but
They
like,
would upset Duke in the
I'm gonna be real. No,
hell no, no.
listen,
Let them
Bennett
get
Stearns
killed
is
by
good, but
someone.
he's not good enough to carry Iowa against the athleticism of Cam Boozer and company.
That's what I'm telling you. No, we do not need that timeline.
Dear God, I would hate that time. So okay, so that would be
Yeah,
our region. So we'd be in the
I don't know
East.
why you thought that.
Listen, man, like
Let
if
it go. Let
I
that die.
I'm letting it die. Don't worry, don't worry. I'm over here thinking like that would be the most like just the worst case scenario. That would be the absolute nuclear reactor right there
It would
if
be a
that was
nuclear
to happen.
reactor.
But
It would, yeah.
yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, so outside of Iowa State's region, so do you see anything like in the rest of this bracketology that kind of like peeks out to you?
Let me take a look. So like in the South bracket, you see, maybe in a possible Sweet 16 matchup, or in the round of 32, Tennessee versus Virginia would be a very intriguing matchup in the South bracket. And I
Mm-hmm.
think whoever wins that could definitely give UConn a run for their money in the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the possible matchup in the Sweet 16 in the South bracket between Florida and Illinois. I
Mm,
mean that would be an intriguing matchup there too. And you see TCU facing Louisville. Man, like there's a lot. There's matchups galore in there. I
mm-hmm.
think you look at Arizona. I mean, Arizona would have to play Texas Tech again, and probably in what in the Elite Eight if
Yeah,
Texas Tech
yeah,
even makes it that
that would
far.
be the Elite Eight.
Um, I mean, Tech Wisconsin in the round of 32 would be interesting because I think Wisconsin could beat them. If
Hmm.
Tech if Tech can it's still hot with their shooting and gets hot
Yeah,
again with shooting, then they could definitely probably make a run to the Elite Eight again.
yeah.
But I think the wild card probably in that region in the West would probably be North Carolina.
Mm.
But I guess because I can see them making a run in Gonzaga. But like, I think Arizona and that one should have that cakewalk to the Final Four.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
if Arizona doesn't make it this year, then some conversation like after this year that you had and you don't make it to the Final Four, that'd be insane. Um, let's take a look at
like what some people have been like throwing out here. Tommy
what.
Lloyd to Kansas.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of Kansas, they find themselves right now as a 4 seed in the Midwest region. They would likely go like they'd be in Philly, and some potential matches for them would be them against Michigan in the Sweet
Mm-hmm.
16, the Elite Eight against Houston. We know how that went last.
Ooh.
Then Purdue would be another one, and then maybe even St. John's.
Purdue Houston would be a matchup from last year, and was that in the Sweet 16?
Yeah, that was a Sweet 16.
And you know what? You want to know what the insane thing was? Is that somehow with the seeding, Purdue basically got a home game in Indianapolis, even though Houston was the number one seed. They won 60-58 in Indianapolis because
Oh,
they
I
was in the
remember that.
Midwest
Yeah,
region. I was
Yeah.
like, how did they screw up the seeding in that one? But yeah,
I
that's
guess.
a whole nother conversation. But
Yeah.
Purdue being the three seed, honestly, these three seeds could be intertwined with either us or Purdue.
Honestly.
Honestly, I really think that we could probably be in that region
Hmm.
because Purdue lost to Ohio State at
Yeah.
Ohio State. So I think
Yep.
either it's we're gonna either be intertwined between the East region and the Midwest region. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
could take a look at that. St. Mary's, I think, intrigues me because I think that they could make a run maybe in that they could be a team that can make a run in the Midwest
Yeah.
region. So I think for me, I'm really excited for our selection Sunday
Oh yeah.
for when we do the episode because that,
Yeah.
we'll make sure to tune in with us for the Believe in Iowa State crew. We're gonna have elite breakdown with just or maybe we can live stream it up and do it live as we watch it and and have reaction. So make
Hmm.
sure to tune in for that and
Yeah.
make sure when you tune in on Sunday as we do our show and we break down just the Big 12 tournament in general. So
Yeah.
that, oh, go
Wait.
ahead.
Yeah. Well, speaking of conference tournaments, dude, I've literally just been like while we've been talking, I literally have had like quad like a dual monitors quad box going with all like these mid major
Dude,
conference tournament like the
what are you
women's
watching?
tournaments. I've got
Tell
like
the listeners what you're watching
so
now.
right now I've got like the eight women's A10 tournament going. I've got the Big 12 women's tournament going on right now. Louisiana UL Monroe. I've got the Ohio Valley going on for the women, and also the ACC. And I think earlier I was watching the A Sun or something. So see, this is a
Cody
beautiful
Ben
time of the year,
Selalem, certified college basketball sicko.
dude. This is the best time of the year. I could just sit on my ass like in some random room, maybe like maybe during lecture I might be watching some basketball, but like really, why? Why wouldn't I?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like as soon as I get off work the first Thursday of March Madness, I'm gonna go to a sports book somewhere and watch games all day
Oh
after
yeah,
work.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I might just, yeah, we'll see what I do, but pretty much, I mean, yeah, this is just the beauty of March. I mean, you've got all this basketball, it's all over the place. I mean, I'm gonna have to get my some brackets ready to go because the bracket challenges are coming up. So, all right, so I mean, we go back to our bracket. Like, name like a team that could like be like one of those like what who could be a Cinderella?
I'm gonna go with St. Mary's. I think
Mm,
St. Mary's could be a team that could make a run. Another team I'm gonna say is St. Louis. If St.
yeah,
Louis can get the right draw, I think St. Louis could definitely be a team that can make a run to like an Elite Eight.
yeah, yeah. I do. I really, yeah, I do like St. Louis as well.
Now let's hope and pray that they don't play Iowa State. Let's please let's not.
Well, I mean I mean we just had it up earlier. They wouldn't run into us until presumably the final four if St. Louis was to somehow get all the way there. And what's funny is St. Mary's and St. Louis would match up in a hypothetical Elite Eight.
Wow. I mean, look, we've seen it before where teams that you didn't really think would make it. But I
Hmm.
just after last year, you saw when all top four seeds made it. I think that's more likely this
Hmm.
year again.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
we'll have to see.
here's another wild hypothetical matchup that could happen if the cards fall right. Iowa State, Nebraska in the final four.
Oh man, you want to talk about cinema? Like,
Dude,
man, Fred going up against his former team, and then
and
just
his
oh,
former understudy TJ.
the storylines would be elite, man.
Yeah, it just this is what like I'm here for. This is why I've been watching like this is why I stuck through all those like buy games for Iowa State while I was watching some random mid major in the middle of like December or January. This is what we're here for. And as a college basketball enthusiast, Cole Adams himself says, if you weren't here in November/December, don't bother showing up in March.
Facts more. Fact has never been more true. All right, man. Thank you for coming on with me. Thank you everybody for tuning in to the Believe in Iowa State podcast. A big thanks to FanDuel. Make sure if you guys are putting in bets for in the next week or so for conference tournaments or maybe even the NCAA tournament, make sure your first stop is at FanDuel. Get those parlays going. Also, if you want to find me on Twitter, I can be found at SciTi Guy. If you want to find Cody on Twitter, I can he can be found at Tierney
Yeah.
Sprinter.
I think I renamed it to TJ's ankle boot just so like I could just
Oh
like
yeah, TJ's ankle boot.
that would be just funny. Just no context, just a picture of TJ Otzelberger at the boot. Yeah. So basically, like I might just like tweet about like the fact. Like I think most recently I just tweeted about like high chai on a Tuesday, and now we have a whole debate about high chai or Panda Express.
High try going up on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
Sorry, I had to.
yeah, yeah,
Also follow us on social media. Uh, we can be found on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. All right, signing off for Tyler Carter.
And for Cody Van Seelen,
This is the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
go Cyclones.